The killing of Charlie Kirk, a nation on edge. On September 10, 2025, Charlie Kirk, a prominent conservative activist and vocal ally of former President Donald Trump, was fatally shot during a speaking event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. His death has triggered alarm across the U.S., reviving fears of escalation in political violence and political assassinations. What happened? Kirk was hosting an event at UVU under his American Comeback Tour, specifically at a Prove Me Wrong table, engaging in debate with students. During the event, a single shot rang out. Video footage shows Kirk clutching his neck, then collapsing. The wound was on the left side of his neck, and the shot appears to have come from a rooftop or elevated position several dozen yards away. More than 3,000 people were in attendance. Security at the event included 6 campus officers and Kirk's private security team. Law enforcement recovered a bolt-action rifle from nearby woods. The rifle reportedly had 3 unfired rounds and engravings with references to transgender rights and anti-fascist ideology. Initially, a person of interest was detained, but later released after interrogation. The suspected shooter remains at large. Who was Charlie Kirk? Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA when he was very young. The organization grew to become one of the most visible conservative youth movements in the U.S. He was known for stirring debate and often focused on culture war topics: gender, identity, abortion, media bias. His style was provocative and polarizing. Reactions and political fallout. Utah's Governor Spencer Cox publicly described the killing as a political assassination. President Trump and many conservative media figures reacted strongly, blaming political rhetoric from the radical left for creating an environment that enables violence. Political leaders across the spectrum expressed condemnation and sorrow. Even among political opponents, there is concern that this event represents a dangerous milestone in the erosion of norms around free public discourse. Security lapses and context. The event had minimal law enforcement presence considering the attendance size, 6 campus officers, plus Kirk's private security. There were no metal detectors or stringent screening, and video shows vulnerability in perimeter security, especially from elevated positions. Because the event was outdoors and large, securing it from elevated threats, e.g. rooftops, posed special challenges. Broader implications. Rising political violence. Experts warn that this killing may mark a tipping point. Political violence has already been increasing in recent years in the U.S. There is concern about a vicious spiral, where acts of political violence provoke retaliation, further inflaming partisanship and lowering the threshold for violent behavior. Free speech and democratic norms. The assassination is seen not just as an attack on one individual, but as an assault on the practice of open debate. If speakers at public forums, especially polarizing ones, cannot be safe, the freedom of expression becomes compromised. Many observers are emphasizing that demonization, name-calling, and extreme rhetoric contribute to the possibility of violence, even if unintentionally. What is unknown? The motive remains unconfirmed. Law enforcement has not established whether the act was ideologically motivated, personal, or something else. The identity of the shooter is still unknown. The persons of interest have been released. In conclusion, the killing of Charlie Kirk is more than the tragic death of an individual. It is a moment of acute tension in the U.S. political landscape. It exposes rifts in how safety, free speech, rhetoric, and responsibility are balanced in a deeply polarized society. Unless addressed, both through sober political leadership and better event security practices, there is real risk of further escalation. If you like, I can write a version of this with an international perspective, how such political assassinations compare globally, or explore the legal and security implications in more depth. Which angle would you prefer?